So one of the things that I get asked quite frequently, because I've had a unique opportunity, is the advantages of co-ed education. I have been very fortunate over my career of 33 years to be able to teach all women at an all female institution, which was fantastic. And then to come to Marist when they were making the transition from all male into co-ed, I taught all male courses. Which was a really great experience as well. And then we transferred into co-education. So I've had all female, I've had all male, and then I've had the two genders mixed together. And I never really realized the nuances of the differences between them until I really saw that experience for myself. So as a woman in an all-female environment, at least in my experience, what I found is I had to try to be the devil's advocate in really trying to show the other side of an argument from maybe a male perspective. And then when I was in an all-male environment, and we're talking about literature and things like that, I had to be the voice for the female perspective that wasn't possibly present in the room. And what I love is that in a co-ed environment, I didn't have to really be the voice or the devil's advocate or the voice of reason for any gender, because as we all do, I know in myself, we really do raise our daughters and our sons to be their own advocates regardless of gender. So what I've found has been a natural progression for preparation for life is that the females in the room and the males in the room were constantly doing group work. And so there are so many times where they don't agree, and I love when they don't agree. And what I also love is the fact that there's a professionalism to a co-ed environment that I really appreciate in my experience. And you know, the gentlemen and the ladies in the room, they speak their mind, and they do it in a very articulate fashion, and they back it up with examples. And they're so used to the banter and the agreement with each other, regardless of gender, that when they transfer that over into the collegiate arena or into the workforce, they are so successful because they're used to that, and they're used to being with the opposite gender. I've watched it, with my daughters and my sons. And as athletes, they had very little time sometimes to really study certain concepts. So they all had different study groups, regardless of what level you're at. And I clearly remember my daughter and another young woman were in a big study group, and a majority of them were boys for whatever reason. And my daughter Ashley was the go-to person when it came to the math. But yet there was another gentleman, I believe was a soccer player, and he was the go-to for physics. And everybody had a skill set, and nobody really ever cares, whether it's high school or college, what gender someone is. When you want to get better at a skill set, and I know I'm that way as a professional, I don't see my colleagues any certain gender. I just really want to get better at what I do. And so I think that's been a really positive thing in my experience, which, like I said, has been unique, that I've been able to see transfer over into real life. I like the professionalism with their behaviors. Boys will be boys and girls will be girls, and that's not going to change, and we like that about life, and that's what the locker rooms are for, and that's what their outings and groups are for. But in a classroom, there is an element of professionalism with their behavior and respect and how they treat one another. And so they know how to do that, and they do it very well, and that transfers, like I said, over to college and then in life. And it's very rewarding to see as a teacher, but even more so as a mom. I appreciate that probably more than anything.